Hi, quick video on the Rolling Stones' No Expectations, basic chords. So you start off and you hear one chord and I'm in standard tuning and the chord is E, but it's this voicing of it. And what I'm doing is I'm barring at the 9th fret the D, G and B strings. And then, so that's with my first finger on the 9th fret, D, G and B strings, and then with my third finger on the 11th fret on the A string. Top E string I could include because it's an E chord, but the highest note you hear on the record, on the track, is that note on the B string, 9th fret, which is a G sharp. And then of course you can include the low E, which he does, and you get and I think he does that for 4 bars. And then I think what he does is just really simply moves that third finger from the 11th fret of the A string to then the 11th fret of the D string, and then your bass note, your root note, is the open A. So you go open A string, 11th fret of the D string, and then your first finger has stayed where it is. And so you've still got 9th fret of the G string and 9th fret of the B string. And this, so 0, 11, 9, 9 on the middle 4 strings, that gives you an A major 7. So once the chords start moving, you've got, and you can do that little hammer on from the 9th fret of the D string to the 11th fret of the D string, and then you just move your third finger from the 9th fret of the D string to the 9th fret of the E string, and go from having the open A as your bass, the root note, bass note, to the open E as your bass note, and then you're back to that E chord. So you're going from an A major 7 to an E, and they go back and forth between that. And then the other chord is a D, which you could get to in a number of ways. One way is just move that bar down to the 7th fret. So that's a bar on the D, G and B string still, just moving it down to the 7th fret, and you could put your third finger on the 9th fret of the A string and have that as your lowest note. You'd mute the E string, or you could put your little finger there on the 10th fret of the low E string, or of course you could just play D down here, an open D. Then it goes to an A, then it goes to an E. And that little bit that you hear is E, A, E. Now just to go back to these voicings up here, so we started off with this voicing of E, and if you know your Cage stuff, it's from the G shape. So the full shape would be the root note, E at the 12th fret of the E string, and then the 11th fret on the A string, the 9th fret on the D, G and B strings, and that's a G shape. Yeah, 3, 2, 0, 0, 0 becomes 12, 11, 9, 9, 9. So that's the logic of that. You're actually doing part of a G shape. And then when you're doing the A major 7, well, if you put your second finger on the 10th fret of the B string, you'd have this, which is just A major because it doesn't have the major 7 in there, so it's a simple major chord. Whoops. Yeah, that's A again. That's the root, and then when you don't have that second finger there on the B string 10th fret, and you've got B string 9th fret, then you have that G sharp, which is the major 7th. So if you put that second finger there, 10th fret of the B string, and you put your little finger on the 12th fret of the A string, so rather than open A, you have it an octave up, 12th fret of the A string, then you have yourself a C shape. So this is, yeah, again, if you know your cage stuff, that's the C-shaped bar. So really you're going from a C-shaped bar to a G-shaped bar. The C-shaped bar with its root on the A string at the 12th fret giving you an A chord, and the G-shaped bar with its root on the E string at the 12th fret giving you an E chord. But you're just playing parts of those, and with the A, not only instead of the root note being an octave down, so not here at the 12th fret but open string, like I said, you're also, instead of playing that root again up here, you're playing the major 7. So that's where this shape is coming from, and this is why this is an A major 7. And the G is coming from this, sorry, the G. It does get confusing. The E chord is coming from this G shape, yeah? Okay, so I'm pretty sure he's just leaving his finger there and just moving the 3rd finger, like I said before, from D string, 11th fret, to A string, 11th fret. But what you could also do is move the first finger from barring the D, G and B strings to barring the A, D and G strings, and then you could do that hammer on there as well. Yeah, it's just a nice thing to movable shape. Yeah. Or you could just do it as he's doing it and leave the first finger barring the D, G and B strings and just moving your 3rd finger. And that way both chords have that that top note there, that G sharp, which is what you hear on the track. But you can try moving these shapes around if you do move that bar. So there's on the A, D and G, sorry, yeah, A, D and G strings. So on that set of strings, and for the A chord, try moving this around. It's more useful if you make it just a simple major chord than a major 7. So if you had this shape going from a bar to 2nd finger goes 1 fret up on the B string, and 3rd finger, as we were doing, goes 2 frets up on the D string. Yeah. Okay, hope that helps.